Polk County is home to one of the most accredited sheriff's offices in the entire nation, and part of that training happens here at the Matt Williams and Diogi K-9 Training Center in Bartow, Florida. If you've ever wondered what it takes to get a K-9 unit selected and trained, then stay tuned for this episode of the Commissioner's Report. Welcome back to the Commissioner's Report. Today we're on location at the Matt Williams and Diogi K-9 Training Facility here in Bartow, Florida. I'm joined by County Commissioner Bill Braswell and Captain Paul Wright. Welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Well, it's good to see you guys again. Captain Wright, this is your second time on the show, and this time we're showing off a different kind of facility, showing off a different kind of our special units. Where are we at?
This is our K-9 facility here at the Polk County Sheriff's Office. It's new. It just got dedicated. It's the Matt Diogi K-9 facility here at our main training campus in Bartow, Florida.
Absolutely. And so talk to us about what goes on here. It's my understanding that there's some dogs in the back.
There are some dogs. I think we're going to see some dogs.
We may hear some.
We probably will here shortly. So this facility was designed and built specifically for the K-9 unit. We have a very large K-9 unit here at the Sheriff's Office. We have 28 K-9 handlers and actually 36 dogs. And the reason for the extras is because we have 8 bloodhounds that are assigned specifically to certain handlers who will have dual dogs. They'll have a shepherd and a bloodhound. So in the facility we have boarding, we have training, we have a training room you're going to see here shortly. We have a fenced in area where our canines and their handlers can come train what we kind of uncontrolled, where we can take them off leash and they can go through a series of training scenarios where we don't have to worry about the dogs running away or anything like that. So state-of-the-art training facility. We traveled and looked at several others and kind of took designs from all of them and made the best here in Polk County.
What's interesting to me is the bloodhound aspect of it. When I think of canines and cops, I think of the biting dogs, the ones that chase after guys. But you got, like you were telling me, they go to schools, they go do all kind of things, they sniff out drugs, they sniff out whatever you need sniffed out. And that's one aspect that I just don't ever think about.
Right, and that's a good point you made, Commissioner, is we not only have dogs that can apprehend bad folks, we have dogs that are called single-purpose animals, single-purpose dogs, and their sole focus is either narcotics, guns, or maybe people, like the bloodhounds, where we're going to find lost children or missing adults. But like you said, the single-purpose gun dog, we have a dog that is specifically assigned to the Polk County schools that does nothing but sniff for firearms. That's his sole purpose. So several other dogs, their sole purpose is to locate narcotics, whether it's in packages or in vehicles or wherever it might be. But they don't have the patrol aspect of that biting and tracking and thing like that. So you're right.
I was thinking of the tough dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Commissioner Braswell, from the board's perspective, why is it important to make sure that the Sheriff's Office has the best possible facilities and the best possible resources for training these animals?
Well, I mean, we want the best department. Training is how you get there. But we were talking earlier. They've had dogs in police work for over 40 years. And you don't get there by just going out willy-nilly and kind of halfway doing it. You gotta have a regimented training facility and trainers, and you gotta do it right. And when you do it right, you get the right response, you get the right dogs, you get the right people in the job, and you do your job better. And that's what we want. We want the best police force. It's the most accredited police force in the nation, I believe, and we want to stay there.
Absolutely. Captain Wright, talk us through the practical aspects of this. When do you select the dog? I mean, are they born for this purpose? And then, how do you go through the process of training them? How long does that take? And then what are we looking at in terms of when they first enter this facility to when they are actually out serving the public? Right.
So these dogs are actually brought from overseas. They're specifically bred for this kind of work. So we work with actual companies that bring them over. They do the initial training as small dogs, puppies, and then we evaluate them, pick the ones that we believe are going to be best suited for the Polk County Sheriff's Office, and then those dogs will purchase. Just kind of side note on purchasing them, county tax dollars haven't purchased a dog for the Polk County Sheriff's Office in years and years and years. There's actually a group that states at Carpenter, Canine for Cops. They started a fund, and that actually pays for all the canines for Polk County.
I don't think I knew that. That's pretty cool.
Right. So no tax dollars have been used to buy a canine, and I can't even tell you when. So along with some other donations, some other folks have actually donated too. They wanted to help out and buy dogs for Polk County. So just a kind of a little tidbit of information there. But so once we select the dog comes in. That dog is assigned to a handler. That handler is already selected through a process that we have here internally. We look at how long the longevity of them at the sheriff's office. We look at their training history. We look at their work history, their work ethic, and just several different things that we go through. We select them, they come in, then we select the dog from the company. Once that dog gets here, it's going to go through an extensive process of over 800 hours of training before it hits the road. So if you can imagine 800 hours of training that handler and that dog go through on a daily basis that they're getting to before they go out and answer the first call. So the dog is super experienced by that time usually. The handler and the dog are super compatible by then. You know, if you can imagine living day in and day out with this animal for that long. So once that's complete, it's evaluated. The dog and the handler are tested. Once they pass the test, then they're released to go and patrol the streets of Polk County.
Captain Wright, this building is called the Matt Williams and Diogi Canine Training Center. And tell us a little bit about the namesake for this building and why that story is something that is still remembered today, 20 years later.
Absolutely. So Matt Williams and Diogi were a canine team back in the early 2000s. So I believe it was 2006. The incident occurred up in Northwest. He was ambushed and unfortunately was murdered by a suspect along with his partner during that traffic stop. So as you can see, some of the stuff that's in the building is tracking harness, Diogi's tracking harness, along with the lead and Matt's uniform shirt from that incident. So you'll also see some other stuff along the way, some pictures and things of Matt and Diogi, and that's why we've named this facility after him in honor of that team's sacrifice and what they did for us to get us to where we are today.
Why don't you go ahead and give us and the viewers a grand tour?
Sounds good. Well, I think we're going to go this way first, and we'll take a look around.
So Paul, tell me about this.
So right now we've come around to the Kevin Widener Memorial Classroom. This is one of our this is the main training room for the canine facility. We'll bring in canine units, instructors from all over the country here, so our canines get the best training anywhere, we believe. This was named after Kevin Widener. Was a captain when he retired here, and he was one of our first canines, probably influenced a lot of other folks to become canines here at the sheriff's office, but he was an inspiration to most folks. He went on to be a captain here, a firearms instructor, and you'll see some of the other memorial shadow boxes and stuff here inside the room, but this room was specifically dedicated to him because of his positive influence on canine, and he was actually one of the leaders, you know, right there at the beginning, the creation of the canine unit for the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
And that would have been when, in the 80s?
It's somewhere in the 80s, yes, sir.
Yeah, so this has been around for a long time?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
That's cool. Yeah.
So here we are. What is all this? All right, so now we're just outside the training facility in our fenced-in agility testing area, I guess you could call it. But you can see behind us, one of the dogs going through the agility training. Whereas before, you didn't have this
Just kind of out in the grass training.
Yes, sir. They'll find you. They can apprehend you. They can find articles, narcotics.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Commissioner's Report. If you want to learn more, go to polkfl.gov or check out our socials on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We'll see you next time.